We're building up to the great race at Mount Panorama, the Tui's 1000, and the Royal Australian Air Force are giving us a big hand here today to do that, entertaining the crowd and our viewers all around Australia. And you're going to be seeing some amazing sights here today from the Air Force. Firstly, on screen, the Chinook helicopter. Doug Mulray joining me here at the moment, as well as Squadron Leader Tracy McCormack from No. 3 Squadron at Williamtown. Of course, this is just a small sample of what people will be able to see at the Bicentennial Air Show coming up at Richmond RAAF Base shortly, Tracy.
That's true. On, I guess, the 15th and 16th of October, the air show's on there. It'll have 6 hours of flying displays on all day. The Chinook's just one of the many things I'll see there.
I think I saw this movie, Doug.
Yes. I love the smell of bacon and eggs in the morning, personally. Tracy, how many aircraft will we be seeing here at Bathurst today?
Well, I think you're going to see right now a Chinook, a Vampire and a Dakota, and a little later on we'll have some F-18s. Yeah. Just after 9 there'll be a single display, and just before the start of the race we'll have 4 aircraft display.
Can I ask you something? Who's defending the country then?
Nobody attacks on weekends.
Is that right?
The Chinooks from No. 12 Squadron at Amberley in Queensland. They're the workhorses. They can carry enormous payloads, 20,000-pound payload. That's externally on the hook, so they're used for lifting equipment and people in and out of very difficult places. And amazing machines, aren't they?
Yeah, they're used quite a lot for Army support, taking a lot of troops in and out of the field, and obviously carrying around lots of equipment, primarily for the Army, though.
Crew of 4 aboard the Chinook, maximum airspeed 175 knots, so it's not the fastest aircraft around, but it does its job.
The aerodynamics of a brick.
Yeah, you don't talk to jet pilots about helicopter aerodynamics. I don't believe they have any.
Flight Lieutenant Shane Fairweather and his crew in charge of the Chinook here at Bathurst today, as I said, from No. 12 Squadron. It's amazing what you don't. It's hard to know the dimensions of. Oh, hello. Here, what do we got here? It's a.
Looks like a DC-3.
DC-3. I should recognise the silhouette. I've flown in them often enough.
A biscuit bomber.
Yeah. Looks like it's getting bounced around a little bit by the wind out there today.
The old Goonie bird, as they were affectionately known by many pilots.
Being overtaken by some of the cars down the straight.
Yes. Top speed over the ground of about 100 miles an hour, I believe.
Just a little faster than that, probably 130, 140 knots.
That quick?
With a good wind.
It used to be a long trip to Dubbo from Sydney when these were the only means of getting there.
That's the original World War II camouflage, too, on this aircraft. I don't think it's the original paintwork. It's been redone once or twice.
Yes. Yes, the Australian troops relied heavily on these guys in New Guinea during World War II. They'd fly in the supplies in the old DC-3.
Flying Officer Jim Bradley from No. 37 Squadron at Richmond at the controls. And as you can see, in that very stiff breeze, you've got a handful.
But they're still actually used by the Air Force down at Edinburgh, the Aircraft Research and Development Unit. I think they still have 4 of these Dakotas. They use them to trial new pieces of equipment.
They modify them.
That's right, yeah. It's a very sturdy old aeroplane. They can cut holes in the floor, do whatever they like with it, and it still keeps flying.
You want to watch out. Walkinshaw may well protest.
I don't think it'd have any worries. I don't think it'd win the race if it was in it.
Looking forward to the FA-18s, mate. They seem to create excitement wherever they go. They're a fabulous showpiece for the RAF, are they not? Yeah, they're a very spectacular airplane. Of course, air shows is just about 1% of what they do. It just shows off some of the ability it has doing its primary job, which is fighting and defending Australia.
The DC-3 still performing a useful role, although in greatly depleted numbers.
Last time I flew in one of those, I was disturbed to see the engine cowling bolts vibrating undone as we lobbed into Victoria.
The Chinook and the DC-3 will be updating the Air Force a little bit later on, but right now we're going to take you to some of the action here. Doug Mulray, the man who turned insanity into an industry. Here at Mount Panorama, the FA-18 has arrived. Well, the first of them. Squadron Leader Tracy McCormack rejoins us. Doug Mulray here as well. Now, this is an awe-inspiring sight.
It is. It's a very good display done by a very good aeroplane. At the moment, he's just showing a loop. Normally, he'll be doing it from an airfield. This would be the equivalent of just after takeoff. Gets a little noisy down here while he does it, though, unfortunately.
It actually shakes the ground. I'm led to believe, Tracy, that these things generate in excess of 40,000 horsepower. Is that correct?
No, it's about 22,000 horsepower.
Only 22,000?
Yeah, I don't know what the starting grid here would have, but it probably approximates that.
18,000 horsepower on the starting grid.
Right,
so
he
one
aircraft.
Just a little bit. He's just about to come by inverted now.
You know the feeling, wouldn't you, though?
Look at the folks outside holding their ears. The astonishing thing about this aircraft is that it actually arrives before the sound. So people sort of look up and then get knocked to the ground by the incredible noise it leaves behind it.
He's just about to put his undercarriage down, his landing gear down, and do a half a loop.
Why does he lower the undercarriage, Tracy?
It's just part of the show, just to show a few more pieces of the aeroplane.
I guess we should say who he is, Flight Lieutenant Barry Kelly.
That's right. Barry's one of our the most experienced Hornet pilot we have. He actually did a couple of years exchange with the United States Marines, where he picked up a lot of experience. He has over 1,000 hours on the Hornet now.
What does it cost to train a pilot to fly one of these, Tracy?
By the time you take a guy off the street, I believe the figure's something like $2 million. I'm not really sure, though.
That'd be the cheapest component of the aircraft, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the aircraft are pretty expensive, and operating them is fairly expensive too. It's not a cheap game.
I'm told when they did the film Top Gun, the budget for the film was $11 million in total, and $6 million of that was fuel costs.
Yeah, he'll be using, to do this display, just over about 1,500 gallons of fuel.
It is an evil-looking piece of machinery, isn't it?
Malevolent, but quite beautiful.
Oh, superb. Of course, you'll be able to see this and much, much more at the Bicentennial Air Show at the Richmond RAAF base on the outskirts of Sydney, October
15 and 16. And there are also follow-on air shows, one over at Edinburgh in South Australia on the 22nd, the following day at Laverton in Melbourne on the 23rd, and then up at Amberley in Brisbane on the 29th of October.
It'd be an enormous task to put all that together.
It is. It takes quite a lot of effort, but for the Bicentennial Year, I guess the Air Force thinks it's all worth it.
Has that ugly incident in West Germany cast a shadow on the Richmond Air Show and other subsequent Bicentennial Air Shows, Tracy?
I don't believe so. We have totally different safety regulations, and the regulations which we had in place well before that accident would have prohibited us doing the same sort of manoeuvre that the Italians were doing anyway.
Just without getting too technical, but a couple of aspects of this aircraft, sort of the G-forces that are...
Well, he's about to do a high G turn now. He'll be going to about 7.5 G initially, which is the aircraft limit. The manoeuvre he's doing here is just demonstrating the ability of the aircraft to turn tightly. It is a very good slow-speed manoeuvrability, which he'll demonstrate in the next pass over here. He'll come past at slow speed just to show off some of its capabilities.
What's that vapour off the cockpit, Tracy?
It's just condensation in the air where he's getting a low pressure area over the top of the wing. That was just a demonstration of the pitch rate you can generate out of the aeroplane. He's not gone yet.
The FA-18, what an impressive display. Flight Lieutenant Barry Kelly. And we'll have more of the Hornets just a little bit later on. But right now, let's get back to the action trackside and